Hey guys, JB here. Before you watch the show today, I just want to let you know that this is a different episode. It's not really tech. Basically, as you know, I've been doing podcasting for 15 years, and I wanted to put it out on YouTube. So what you'll see here on is just a video of the 15-minute show that I do every day. But this is really unusual because it's really the story of what I've been doing. So if this interests you, great. If you're more here for the tech and stuff, that's awesome too. But I wanted to give you, just to let you know what this video is about. So it's my 4,000th, I can't even pronounce that anymore, episode of my podcast. So if you want to watch it, enjoy. If not, hey, thanks for being a part of this community here on YouTube. Good morning. And welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. As you know, my name's JB Glossinger, and this is your daily coaching system, the place to get your day started right. Welcome, welcome, welcome. And I'm so glad you're with us. It's September 17th, 2020, episode number 4,000. We are ready to go today. Can you believe I've done 4,000 of those good mornings? I just can't believe it that I've been with you that long. And first of all, I want to tell you, I appreciate you. I love you. I really do. I mean, if it wasn't for you, it's not the 4,000 episodes. It's the people around the world that have supported me in over 100 plus countries that have listened to Morning Coach and become members, have helped us, support us financially, support us energetically, and really allowed us to touch so many lives. I thank you. I thank you. And today, being that it's the 4,000 episode, I'm doing something special. I'm actually videotaping this. So it's a little odd because I'm not used to kind of looking into a camera. So I'm trying to do what I normally do, but then look in a camera at the same time. So that way we're capturing this and then some other people can watch it. And if you've never heard Morning Coach before, welcome. It is about the energy. That's what we do. And just a little bit about me and this whole process. You know, we started in 2005, and before then, you know, I grew up in LaPorte, Indiana, very small town in the 70s. I am 51 years old now. In the 80s, I went through obviously middle school, and then, you know, had a really kind of a weird background growing up. In third grade, I was held back. Not a lot of people know that, so I had to do third grade over. But I also had to go to a different school. I transferred from Lincoln Elementary School to Rolling Prairie Elementary School and did third grade over. And that was pretty crazy. They had put me in a split third, fourth grade class. The idea was that I wasn't growing as much, and they used to do that, right? And they wanted me a little bigger for sports. I come from a very athletic family. And so they held me back and I switched schools. And I stayed at that school, and this is where it's weird, to my junior year in 1986 in that area. And then I transferred back for my senior year back at LaPorte. And it was really a great experience because as I went from New Prairie, which I have so many great friends from, and transferred to LaPorte, I actually won student council president at LaPorte for my senior year. So it was really crazy that I was like kind of going to two different schools, playing sports against each other, and then coming back. It was a real weird kind of childhood and teenage years, but it was good, I think, because it really made me be able to get along with so many different people in so many different places. And then I went on to college, didn't do very well. Was just, my head was not where it needed to be. Started a few businesses along the way. Finally ended up going to Purdue, then Ball State, and graduating. I think I went to every college in Indiana. And then moved to Arizona just on a whim with Chaos, who was my dog at that time, in my truck. It's like a country music song. And we headed out to Arizona, and I started running health clubs for a gentleman named Frank Robles. And that was another great experience. I played a little football out there. We had a team that was just awesome. And then ended up starting my MBA at that time. And at the same time, got into aerospace, met a couple guys from what was a company called Pueblo Aeromotive, and started selling helicopter engine repairs. And as you've heard the story before, you know, I wrote a letter because I saw an advertisement in the paper for this job. And the letter was so bad, Gene Cray, who was the CEO of the company, read it and said, this guy wrote such a bad letter, we have to meet him. And literally, that's why they called me in. And they actually ended up liking me and hiring me. And with them, I moved to Miami. And as I was in Miami, I was in aerospace and working for various companies. I actually did some work for Department of Defense right after 9/11. It was pretty crazy. All the way up to about 2004. And that brings us to where I wrote a book called Get Out of Neutral. You know, I was living that job in a job I loved. I mean, I'd made it to the pinnacle. I was helping run the company and was on the board. But I just wasn't happy, right? I just wasn't happy. And so I wrote a book, Get Out of Neutral, as I started studying metaphysics. And I kind of went into that non-traditional PhD and really learned kind of the spiritual side of life. And that's when everything started to kind of shift for me. And that's when I wrote the book and decided to quit my job and start this thing called MorningCoach. And it wasn't that easy. I mean, the way we started it was I searched for a URL, and I was going to do a conference call every day. And actually, MorningCoach was the only coach that came up. So I grabbed that URL back in 2004, 2005 timeframe, and then built a website using Dreamweaver, pirated software. I had no money. I quit my job and literally put the website together and used to go on MySpace and put little things to come back to my website. And literally, I think I had one of the first, like what they call squeeze pages on the internet, or landing pages, because it was 2004, 2005. And I said, put in your name and email, and I would email you the conference call. And so people would literally call in, and I would do this conference call. And the beginning days of this, back in 2005, the end of 2005, I didn't really know what I was doing. I wasn't very technical, and I couldn't figure out how to get people, more people to listen, because every time 100 people would come on the conference call would drop, and then I would lose people. So what I ended up doing was searching the internet. How do you put audio up? Should I do a radio show? What should I do? And this little thing called podcasting started. So right at the end of 2005, I was, started podcasting, and basically no enter music, no exit music. I mean, just basically just me. And I would literally record it by doing the conference call and then record the line. And it's a true story. I know you've heard this 1,000 times, but in the background, when I first started, somebody would literally, you could hear a tink and then a stream and then a flush, and somebody was literally going to the bathroom, and I was recording that. I didn't know how to edit or anything, and I didn't even know it. I couldn't hear it because I was talking, and that was coming through the phone into the recorder. And so then I'd put that up there, and people would email and go, Jamie, are you going to the bathroom? What's going on? So that was literally the start of this in those first couple episodes. It would go, chaos would bark in the background. I was doing it in my kitchen. I mean, it's pretty amazing to think about that back in the day. But 2005 came and went. 2006, we started gaining some traction. And one day on iTunes, they featured us. It was right around the holidays. I believe it was either the start of 2006 or the start or the end of 2006, 2007. But they put us on the cover of iTunes. You should listen to Morning Coach every day. That drove the show to top 25 in the world. And that really and that's over all podcasts. Now, there weren't that many back then, but it was still pretty impressive. We beat Oprah and Ellen, and this was, early days of podcasting. And literally we were top 25 in the world. And so a lot of people started coming on board. And so that time period between 2005 and then about 2009, we were just growing, 40, 50,000 downloads a day, people listening from all over the world. But I was going broke. I didn't have any money. I was coaching a few people. There were no sponsorships back then. So a few people would say, hey, we'll give you $100. We'll give you $500 to do this. And there was just no money. It was really hard. And I don't want to give you the hero's journey thing, but we ended up, losing our house. We had to get out of our house. It was just a real difficult time. And right around 2009 is when Chaos passed away. My dog finally passed away. Same time Michael Jackson did, to put it in perspective. This kind of puts it all together, right? And I decided I was going to go membership site. So we already had a site that was a membership site, but it was free. And I think it was one of the first ones. Again, in 2007, we built a membership site, one of the first ones on the web. But in 2009 is when we decided to go paid. And I'll never forget that day, because when we went paid, we had 12,000 people in the website. And when we went paid, we went $20 a month. We had 1,324, right around there, amount of people, if I can remember right. It's a long time ago. Come with us. But that's what changed my life. Those are the people that changed my life. But I'll never forget, I got hurt so bad because there was like 65 negative reviews of people who said, I can't believe you're going to charge now. I mean, I could tell you all this stuff. Even one person said, you should die. I got like a death threat. It was crazy just because I needed to make a living, right? And so that was when I transitioned to paid around 2009. And that's when the business really took off, because now I had this 1,300 people that were behind me and supporting me. And so then in 2010, we raised the price to $30 a month, and that's how it's been ever since. And then what we did is we went 7 days a week. And so then we had this core group of people that literally, as you know, have been with me since the beginning and have just given me such a great life. And, I love you for that. And in 2010, I launched the ILD concept. That's the first ILD course. And to think that's 10 years ago, we've been teaching ILD for 10 years. In 2015, I launched my first Inner Circle Mastermind, which was awesome. In 2016, Hay House, which was just amazing, launched my book, The Sacred Six, as a grammar student, a C grammar student who never thought he would be able to write, to have 4 books and then finally get one published and to be a paid author. What an amazing experience that was. And then in 2018, I launched the Roundtable Mastermind, which has just been such a blessing to have those people in my life. And then we've been just refining and getting things better. We have an amazing coaching system coming as we evolve this, as we come into 2020. We're working on Morning Coach Purpose right now, which is our all positive social media. We got some really big things coming. But again, I just wanted you to know the history at episode 4,000 as we get to ready to do 1,000 more, that you've been the reason that I've been able to be on this journey. That if it wasn't for you, I couldn't do it. I'm very blessed to be able to wake people up every day for 15 minutes and give them the energy they need to build this community. I always say that everything I do is community, and that's what it's about. And now, as you know, I'm having some fun on YouTube and building community there, doing some tech stuff. But at the end of the day, this is my baby. I mean, this is what I've been doing for years. I've always said I will die with the microphone in my hand. And we're going to continue to do this every single day to make sure that you're getting the energy you need and you're getting the ideas that you need. And one of the things we're doing is the new Plan, Do, Check, Act cycle. And we're going to do the PDCA entire program going into 2021. And I'm really, really excited about that. I've been working on it tremendously, putting a lot of time into it to make sure it's perfect. And then we'll be launching that coaching group and making sure everybody is achieving what they need to achieve as I help you go forward. So it's an honor. I mean, I didn't know how I would react. I made some notes of the things that happened in history at episode 4,000. To be honest with you, if this guy that was in the kitchen, back in 2005, struggling, couldn't pay the bills, had Pilar, who was my wife, looking at me going, what did you do? Why didn't you keep your job? Maybe you should go back and get your job. And, thinking about, chaos barking in the background, I'm going, shh, as I'm trying to do the podcast, searching the internet, trying to figure out this technology. How does this stuff work? Scared to death. I'll be very candid. I mean, what are people going to think? What if somebody actually listens to this? That guy is the same guy sitting here right now. I couldn't tell you that I would believe it. I honestly wouldn't tell you, that we would do 4,000 of these things together. I have no words. And again, it's not about the number. For me, what this means more than anything is the people that have been in my life, the people that have allowed me to do this, have really been a part of Morning Coach all over the world, the Olafs, the Jennys, the Lees, the Dougs. So many people, Khalid. I just could go down the list over Sarah and Dan, Jamie, so many people, Herman, who's helped, even going back, Lewis and Paul and the people that have been on my team. I could just go back farther and farther. My coaches along the way, Mike Lee Kinerick, Jeff Walker, Matt Kramer, my new one, Roberto Blake. I've got new coaches. I just have nothing but gratitude. And I think if we can all live with a little more gratitude, like we've been discussing this week, we can all have a little better life. And because of you, you have made my dream come true. And as much and as dark as it is in the world today, there is light, there is hope, there is brightness. Because if there's a guy like me from a small town in Indiana can reach as many people as we've have over the years to give them that little bit of hope, then you can reach people too. And that's our job, like to elevate the level of consciousness in the world, to help people be a little bit brighter, to help manifest a different reality. When I used to say this, when I started this, that we could end disease, we could end hunger, we could end poverty if we just came together as a human species and started to work together. And, I've been on that mission for a long time. 4,000 of these episodes, and I'm looking for the next 1,000. But like I said, without breaking up, I love you. I always say at the end of this, people always say, JB, why do you say I love you at the end of the show? Because I do. It isn't too often that I get to thank you, and I try to do it as much as possible. But I don't think you realize how much every person that has put energy into this, whether you've just helped me along as a member, you become an ILD member, you bought a course, or you've just supported me along the way, that's what it's about. I mean, you mean everything in the world to me, and I do love you. And I think we need more love in this world, and we need more gratitude, and that's what this episode is dedicated to. Episode 4,000 is dedicated to you, because you've been with me, you've fought with me, you've been in the battles, you've seen, tough times when I've lost my grandmother, and I've lost chaos and celebrations when the business has gone good, and really hard times when the business has gone bad. I've rode the whole gamut of things with you. And I just love you. I appreciate you. I really do. And I can't wait for 1,000 more. Because it's gonna make the world a better place, and we're really getting traction right now, and it's because of you that we are. So I love you. I'm going to end it. This is a tough one for me. I love you, and I want you to have a great one. Thank you for being a part of MorningCoach.com.